Hello and welcome to jobskillshare.org. In this video, I'm going to share a live session that we went through with IT Pro Skills Development Program members. A lot of time people ask us, what is this membership, and is this a membership or is this a program? This is basically a hybrid program where we give you membership, but it's being mentored by people like KevTech, myself, IT trainers. And in this, a lot of our members are collaboratively working with each other. Basically, this is the Discord server where basically they join, and every week we check the reports, we give them a lot of material, and this is for someone who is serious about skills development. So in the program, we give them a full courses from test out, and we make sure that they know the basics. So of course, there's some requirements before we start teaching them or giving them more real world resources like practice labs, where these are real servers, domain controllers. So for them to come into these domain controllers and work on it, this kind of eases the way to learn more skills, because a lot of people join this program because they want to learn things in a proper way. They don't want to just spend 1 or 2 hours on a virtual box and then that's it, but they want to become very skillful, so they do all these trainings and everything with us. So what you're about to see in this training is live session, and I hope when somebody's watching this, they will know that most of these members have went through the basics. So a lot of time people watch videos on YouTube, and some people get a little upset that why are you jumping into this something it's very advanced, or I don't understand it. Do know that this is done for program members, but we are also sharing it with public members who can watch these videos and maybe replicate in their own virtual environments. But our target is not that. That's why there's a lot that has to go through, and a lot of people have to go through these basics. So if you want to join this program, you can definitely go to our website and become a part of it. You can also go to JSS and then do these type of trainings, but we don't offer some features that you're going to see in this program. So please make sure to be aware of that, and have fun with this video. It's a great video for you to learn some of the basics, like how do you create a domain controller and some basics on Active Directory. So this is the access that JSS use. JSS does not sell this access. It's not a part of any membership, any program. It just comes from JSS. When we try to help our members, it makes it easy for us to use JSS server and not use Practice Lab, which is a part of Access, which is a paid service right here. We don't use this because this is a very powerful access. But again, the training for training purpose for a trainer, it's not easy to use this. That's why we use this our server, and it's a little more we can achieve out of it. But the main thing over here is Practice Labs, and when people go over our JSS projects and everything later on in their career development, skills development, they really can utilize Practice Lab better, because then they understand Active Directory and everything in a proper way. So what we need to do over here, we need to build an Active Directory server right now. So I am going to open my desktop for now, so you guys can just watch the first kind of like things that are how I'm doing my stuff on my machine. So I'm going to open my machine right now. So maybe for the first 5 or 10 minutes, watch my screen, so you guys have no issues following the documentation, and there's no problem with that. So I'm going to open my lab right now. So before opening this lab, I want to go over this jump box, because you guys are going to have this access for the whole day, and maybe another day too. I'm going to give you guys access to this, so you guys can play around with it. So this jump box is what we use to access VMware. Now, can somebody explain that idea to me? What are we doing? What, can somebody come on the mic and say, you're going through a browser to access VMware. What is that? Like, what is the kind of like the technology we're using? So now we're doing some learning right here. Okay, so explain that to me, and I will start drawing things.
You're using a hypervisor?
We're using the hypervisor. Awesome. And what are you using to connect your hypervisor with?
Virtualization.
Francine, you have to speak a little louder.
Sounds like you are using that is hypervisor and virtualization.
Okay, so one, we know that we are using some sort of virtual environment, right? And that's VMware, right? We all know that we are using VMware, right?
Yeah.
And how are you guys connected to that VMware right now? What is this?
VPN?
What is this jump box? Well, you say VPN. Okay, that's one thing we can talk about. What is this jump box that you guys are using right now?
It's on a server.
Okay, but what is it? Is it an operating system? What is that?
We're sharing resources from an operating or from a server, right?
Okay. So when you guys connected to the jump box is what? The jump box is just a simple Windows 10 machine,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And you guys are connected to, you told me that we are going to connect to the VMware server. So how are you guys connecting to the VMware server right now?
Through the jump box.
Okay, through the jump box, but what are we using to connect to VMware?
The
The internet.
What's that, sorry?
Internet.
Are you using a remote connection or VPN?
Okay, so we're not using a remote connection. So when I send you the link right now, how are you guys using the link? What happened to on the Windows 10? What did you guys do?
We're using the internet, right?
Yep. So where are you right now? We're here. Can I say that? Let's say this is you guys right now. This is your computer. How did you connect to the jump box now? In your computer, how are you guys connecting to the jump box?
Remote desktop.
You say RDP, but did you guys use RDP? Did you open like this? Did I, when I say, hey guys, connect to my system, did you guys open RDP like this and then type something? I don't think nobody did this, right?
No.
Mm-mm.
So we can cross this out, right? So again, when I gave you guys a link, what is that link? How did you guys connect it to this jump box?
Are we on the same
Through the
network?
link.
Okay. Hey, think about it again. Now, question again. This is where I say you need to kind of listen to my question and wait and think about it. How did you guys connect it to the jump box when I went on a Zoom? I was like, this is the link, guys. You guys need to connect to the jump box. What did you guys do?
Are we not using VPN software?
Think about it again, Francine. When I gave you guys a link, you guys connected to the Windows 10 jump box, right?
Mm-hmm.
How did you guys do that? What did you guys use?
I mean, we basically use the link to.
You
connect to
basically
the-
use the link. There you go. This is very simple. Thank you, Timothy. You use the link. So what is the link being used on? What do we call those things? Browsers, right?
Correct.
Okay. So no VPN, no RDP, no local networking. You simply got the link from me and you used what? Internet Explorer, Chrome, whatever you have in your computer right now. You put that link and then you got connected to the Windows 10. Now, can we say that you all got connected via a browser?
Yeah.
Yes, it should be a very clear answer. I mean, this is extremely basic stuff going on over here, guys. If you guys are struggling with this, then I'm going to be like, well, okay, did you guys know how you guys connected? So if you guys got connected to this browser, is this a HTTP connection or is this HTTPS connection? Is this secure connection or is this not secure?
Not secure.
Secure-
I want to
secure
say
connection.
unsecure because you have the red thing on top. There's no certificate.
Okay, hold on. Now let's go
No,
back.
it's secure connection.
All right. This is good stuff going on over here. Remember, my whole thing is not about just AD here. I want to know you guys know a little bit of this basics because if you guys don't know this, you're going to have a lot of troubles. So this is your laptop. I
You
gave
mean the
guys link.
VMware or the actual?
The actual link. The actual link.
Okay, I'm
Secure.
still going with unsecure.
That's at the end. It's secure.
Secure connection. It's a secure connection.
So I'm hearing secure, unsecure. So who's saying secure?
I say
Me.
secure because
Me.
it got the HTTPS.
There's HTTPS on it.
Yeah,
It's a secure
with the link.
connection.
It's
Yes.
secure.
the link that you guys use to connect inside this environment, or the link that you guys use to connect to the jump box, is secure, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Did it give you any errors, or did it say, you're going to have any security issues, blah, blah? No, right? You just went straight and everything is green, right?
Yes.
Okay. So has anybody have any other questions on this? Like, are you guys confused at this level right now? This is your computer right here.
I had a question.
Yes?
So yeah, I did understand that now about the link being secure, or the login, or getting to that jump box secure. My only question is, like, when you're on the virtual machine, why is HTTPS crossed out on the web browser field, or the up there on top?
Perfect. We're getting into there right now after this.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
so now we use the jump box link. We went to this. This is your computer. I'm going to put you right here. You went to this jump box link. You know it's secure, and as soon as you got connected to a what? Windows 10 machines inside this application, right? Win 10, right? That's the jump box, right?
Yes.
On the top, you guys clicked on connect here, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And there was the settings right here on the right side. So once you got connected, you are inside Windows 10. So to answer your question, now inside this Windows 10, you're using what to access VMware? Now that question I want to ask now.
Supervisor.
But what are you using? What application are you using? This is just a Windows 10 machine. Somebody has to tell me, how are you guys getting to VMware right now? So you guys are on VMware right now. So tell me, how are you guys connected to VMware? Are you using RDP? Are you using web browser? What are you guys using?
Browser. Or the
Browser. There you go. So from your browser, you got connected to this application. Inside the application, there's a Windows 10 machine, direct connection to that. This is HTTPS all secure. HTTPS secure, all the way to the jump box, right? Now inside the jump box is trying to connect to the VMware, and you say that why is it HTTP now, right?
I think it's starting to make a little sense. Yeah.
Okay. So now if it makes sense, I want to ask you all another question. What port do we run HTTPS on? Port what?
443, I believe. 440 something.
443. Yeah.
But you guys are kind of like
443.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, okay, this is something. Listen, guys, if you are gonna go for entry-level job, and KevTech Kevin can really tell you about this as well. If you don't know HTTPS port, trust me, the interview is gonna go really bad. Right? Because it's two basics.
You guys are scaring me right now. Come on, guys.
Yeah. And what about this HTTP port? What is that?
80.
80. There you go. So when we are connecting to a VMware inside this Windows 10, and I want to now get another question from you guys. Are we using a public IP address or a private IP address? On top, there's an IP address, 192 something 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 here. You guys are,
That is private.
That's a
IP
private.
address. It's already
Private.
inside. Mhm.
So I feel like if you are struggling in this level of basics, because look, you're trying to achieve something in your lab, and if you don't understand these small basics, then even learning skills becomes hard because you are not understanding the basics over here. And everything that you do in these labs becomes harder and harder because you're not getting the whole point, because the whole thing that surrounds it, you need to understand that. And I'm not saying that you need to be an expert at it, but I'm just trying to get my point out there that people are going to test you on these small ports, some smaller way of connecting things and blah, blah, blah. And they may just test you on a very small level, and they can find out that you know basics or not, okay? So inside the Windows 10, when you connect to the VMware through the web browser, and that's how we all manage VMware systems, a lot of people don't buy certificates. like a HTTPS certificate. Some companies do because maybe they're more secure and everything, but some companies never go out of this. Nobody will open their vSphere or VMware centers to a public, right? I mean, imagine if I would have opened that level of access 192.158 to public, like I'll give you a public IP address and everybody just bypass this whole thing, HTTPS, and everybody from your home machine just go direct to the VMware. Can you do that? Yes, I can do that. I can go to our routers and I will just open port forwarding and I'll say on port, let's say 8833, connect to this VMware. I'll give you that access directly, but then I am opening our systems to millions of attackers out there.
No,
Right?
I can't do that.
Right?
Mhm.
So we wouldn't want to do this. We want to have some kind of systems to first get you connected securely, and then you have this access to the local environment, which does not require HTTPS because nobody would want to spend money on something that I need to destroy in 2 days, right? So that's how people do this stuff. So I hope that introduction was to teach you 2 things. One, how to connect to JSS servers, how to make it faster, and then understand where is your lab environment. Your lab environment has nothing to do with your jump box. So if you open this jump box like this, let's say, for example, I'm on a jump box right now. It says, please do not shut down this or restart this machines. To access your lab, open browser in this jump box, and you will use your guide, like an IP address will be given to you, or the guide that I just gave you today. You will be using that to do your lab. If you do shut down this lab, this means you will lose connection. Because JSS does not support this type of stuff, this is just personal level helping you out. There's no guarantees you're going to get a response after 8 hours, 10 hours, maybe 1 hour. So this is why we are strictly saying to people that please do not do anything with this machine. This is just your connection to the local network in this lab. Does that make sense so far?
Yeah.
Okay, because a lot of time what happens when we give this access to people, they forget that they need to be in the web browser. So one time what happened was a member went in here and went to settings and they were watching the lab document, forgot that they need to be in the lab, and they joined this machine to a domain. So right now, of course, when you join a machine to a domain, what do? You restart the machine, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's where they lost the connection. And then they had to wait another 8 hours because nobody was responding. Everybody was sleeping at that time. So that's why I want to make sure that you guys understand that when you use this jump box, everything has to happen in your lab in this browser and that VMware environment. Nothing goes out of it. So is that clear so far?
Yeah.
Okay. So now, who can tell me that they are comfortable to guide us and build this whole Active Directory, and we can watch that person in the beginning and kind of like go over the document on my screen and that's watching their screen. So who wants to take that lead? I'm looking for someone to take a lead over here because
I'm pretty sure I can, but I'm a little bit.
well, if you can, you gotta go for it, Steven. Let's just do it because I'm with you, right? I'm gonna
I
help
know.
you.
It's just this jump box stuff that I'm a bit.
Don't worry about it. You're gonna get
Let's go.
used to it.
Let's go for it. I'm down. Donald's gonna help me too anyway. So
Yes, I can do it if you want me to.
Help, so in case you need help.
Okay, so Donald or you can decide who wants to take a lead now.
I say we split it. Let's split it.
So maybe Donald starts it. Stephen, you take over after that or something.
Sure, that's fine. I'll do the harder stuff at the end. There's no problem.
All right, Donald, we are gonna go to your screen. So everybody, are you guys watching my screen right now? There's a lot of computers right there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Donald, are you number? Let me open it. Can you do something, Donald? Can you click on the virtual machine or something so people can see that you are Donald?
Yes, I can click on a virtual machine. Wait. Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, I see Donald. Yeah, you are there. So let me know if you can click on things.
Yes.
There you
Yes,
go.
I can click. Yeah.
See, you can click on things. Okay, so do you have your document open, Donald, right now?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's check the document, guys. Can you see my screen?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah. All right.
Yes.
So the first thing what we need to do in this lab environment, it says that so far within this virtual environment, we created 2 virtual machines. So document, Donald, show us those 2 virtual machines. What are we talking about right here? Is there 2 virtual machines there?
A virtual machine. Yep.
Are you in the right machine? You're in the jump box right now. You need to go back to your browser.
Okay. Oh, yes.
There
Let's
you
see.
go. All right. So are you on your browser right now? There you go.
Check on the virtual machine and monitor, you're gonna see there is 2 machines over there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So Donald, can you click on the virtual machines?
On your left.
Virtual machine, yes.
All right.
The
Guys, what do you
server
guys see?
19 and Windows 10.
Okay, so in the document it says 2012, so don't worry about this. For this lab, we're using 2019 and Windows 10. In your real project, when we give you guys this access, you guys will be working on 2022 server all from scratch. Because we want to save time, we're not installing server from scratch anymore, right? Because that's going to be taking too much time just to install systems. All of you should know how to install a virtual machine right now, right? If you guys don't know, then in your lab, there's another lab before this, you're going to be just doing that from scratch and installing just these virtual machines. And then it's going to be just like this with Donald seeing that. So Donald, our goal in this lab is to create a domain controller on server 2019. So guide us, how would you do that?
Okay, so I'll go to the server.
Uh-huh.
Um,
You power it on.
Connect that first. Connect the machine first.
Are we supposed to be following along in like mine? Because all I can see is my web browser. Am I supposed to be on like a jump box as well?
No, not right now. We're trying to look at
Okay.
Yeah, we're
Okay.
trying to
Okay.
everybody should be looking at my screen right now just to understand what we need to do, and later
Got
on
it.
when we do this one, at least create an active directory, then we're going to jump into everybody's machine and you guys will help each other out and who's going to be needing help for this whole stuff. So for now, just watch my screen just to learn things a little effectively, okay?
Yes.
oh, this is my, okay.
So you just started the 2019 server right now, right?
Yeah.
So anybody have a question so far? Everybody's watching my screen?
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be the same password?
Yes, use the same password. Good question right here, because I mean, in our documentation, we also tell you that you have to use exact same password. Why is going to be this password important? Because when you guys do your project, JSS instructors or trainers needs to go in your lab and they have to check things that did you do things correctly or not, and that's how you pass things. So if it's a different password, we cannot get in and do it, right? So right now, Donald is creating a server for the first time. He installed the server, he went in there and he put the password for the first administrator account. So is this administrator account a local administrator or this is a domain administrator? Who can give me this answer?
This is local because he wants now to promote this server, right?
Perfect. 100% perfect answer. This is a local administrator account and he's doing this for the first time. So he needs to create this whole server. So you need to click on finish now. And let's open this a little bit bigger right here so everybody can see that screen.
Okay.
You guys can see the screen now, right?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, Donald, how do you do all control delete on VMware? This is all learning for you guys right now, how to use JSS server. So that's why I want you guys to watch my screen and not follow along.
Check down there, Donald.
I know they had a.
No. Yeah, there you go. Jump box. You will never go to jump box.
Oh, this is it.
So now you're inside this server. How do you do all control delete on that VMware? There you go. Actions, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Let's see. Oh, action right here on the
There you
top.
go.
Yeah.
Click on actions.
What happened?
You need to close that. So hold on. Let me help you out over here. Okay. Let's open the console again. I'm taking over your screen right now.
Okay.
There you go. So we're gonna click on actions. And now go ahead and guide us. Click on guest OS, send keys, and click on
Right
or
here.
control delete.
Oh.
You're gonna make sure that you can do this nice. And now this is all learning for all of you.
Okay.
You see, if you move too fast, then things are gonna go away, right? So
Yeah.
if you click on control or delete, then that's where the command is going on VMware. And now you need to put the password here. So guys, when you guys are doing this, it's not that you guys are learning just how to do an Active Directory or domain controller. You guys are learning VMware skills at this point right now. Because on your resume, you are saying to people, you know VMware basics, right? So of course, when you put something like that, like a big word like VMware, it's a big term. People may ask you questions. Do you know how to do virtual machines on VMware? You put that on there. So now you're learning that skill as well. So a lot of new people may just think one-sided that I'm just going to get to my domain controller. But remember, you're also learning two skills at the same point. You're learning about VMware stuff right here, okay? So now you are on this machine. I don't know why this whole screen is so like the, maybe this is a little better. Yeah,
That's full screen, much better.
okay. So when we want to convert this to a domain controller, what do you guys do the first thing?
Okay. Are you gonna change the computer names, or you still?
Perfect. Every time you guys are making a domain controller, you need to do what? You need to change the name because it's a generic name right now, right?
Yes.
How do you guys change the name of the server?
You go to File Explorer. Right click on this PC. You go to the properties, and then
Change settings.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see what I'm looking for. Okay, this one.
You're going to your right, change settings.
And then you're gonna change. Right
Okay,
here,
so
and
this
then,
is where you guys need to make sure that you follow your documentation, because Donald will put something like, Donald, you're going to put DC. Put DC, like just type DC.
DC.
And you will put your initials, right? Your first and last initial.
Oh, okay. So I'll put DD.
So everyone have to do this. If you are matching somebody else's initials, make sure to change that, because of course, you're in the same network. So if you guys are using the same domain controller, you guys will be connecting to each other and you'll be like, what the hell is going on here, right? So
No.
here you want to change the name of that server first and then restart it. Okay, so go ahead and restart this machine. So we'll pause a little bit over here and ask while this is getting ready. Anybody having any questions so far? Caroline, Samia, or anybody? Are you guys getting the point right here? How to use the SS server and how to get into follow your documentation and stuff?
Making sense so far.
Okay. So let me ask you this interview question, guys. Why do we need a domain controller?
This is what a domain controller is, what runs Active Directory basically. So otherwise it's just a server.
Okay.
And
And why do
also
we-
for management.
Perfect. For
That is going to
management
help us to
purposes.
have a centralized management for all our computers and the users.
Great job. We need a domain controller because it needs to have an Active Directory to manage and centralize our management for computers and users, because we want to do things
And
effectively,
the group
right?
policy.
Perfect. And if anybody is having any doubts or confusion, like what is this domain stuff, then let me know later on. Take a point with yourself that I'm going to send you a pretty nice lecture that I created on a workgroup versus domain. So you guys can always send me a message that, can you send me that link? And I'm going to send you that 20 minutes long video, and it has a lot of information with examples of why we need a workgroup, why we need a domain, okay? All right, so Donald, continue your process and let us know how would you turn this computer into a domain controller, and explain that stuff with us, because of course we don't want to just do it. We want to explain things. So Donald or Stephen or anybody, who's leading, I want you guys to be explaining this stuff.
Yeah, I'm trying to follow the documentation. What I say it again. Change the name. So after I change the name, I will probably check my network IP address
Okay.
to see if I need to change the IP address, and then turn off my Windows firewall.
So good question. Do we turn off Windows Firewall if you were into a rail job right now? Let's say you're working in a rail company and there's nobody around you, and of course Google cannot tell you to turn it off and on. If you were working in a rail company, would you guys just go and start turning off firewalls?
No.
No, I would say no.
Perfect. If you are confused, who would you go and ask this question?
The sysadmin?
Perfect. Sysadmin, IT managers, your coworkers, right?
Yes.
All right, good job. All right, so go ahead and guide us on how do you convert this server to a domain controller.
So you want me to turn up the firewall, or should I leave it?
I don't know. It's up to you. You know, you're guiding us.
Now, according to the documentation, they asked me to turn it off.
Okay, so if the documentation say turn it off, then turn it off, right?
Okay.
In the lab. Yep. Go ahead.
Okay. So let me go back. So I go to firewall.
Here's a mistake going on right now. Who can catch his mistake right now?
Oh, is he not on the?
He's
not on the VM. He's on
Yeah,
the.
see, there you go. That's a very.
This is the.
This is the confusing part for all of you are going to come across, and just you guys have to be very careful because that's how things are going to go down, right?
Yeah. Thanks.
All right, so for the lab purpose, to make things easier and we want to learn skills a little effective way, we want to go ahead and turn off the firewall. So let's go ahead and turn off the firewall. How do you do that?
And it's my screen. I think everything is small. I don't know how to make it bigger. My screen.
Okay, so if you want to make your screen bigger, look at my screen right here, like all the way to you see on the top X close. There's a little button that says toggle view mode.
Oh, okay.
So if you click on toggle view mode, you see how I'm changing my screen. There's a little arrow that's going down, right? See, I'm changing.
Okay. Let me try this one then.
So if you're doing that, we can see your screen if you're doing it correctly.
Wait a minute. What the hell? Wait a minute. Let me go back to see what it said.
Yeah, if you look at my screen first, you're gonna see
to settings. On the
right
top.
with the settings on the right side. There's a little arrow going down. Toggle view mode. Can you see it? Yeah, you got to move out of your virtual machine. It's on the top. It's application, not inside the VMware. So remember, you clicked on settings, you clicked on connect and everything. It's there. So now you're on the web browser. You see on the top, right on top, there's a bar where it says.
Oh, okay, right here. Okay, I see.
Yep.
Okay,
so if you click on it multiple times, you're gonna find it. You can make it bigger. You can make it smaller.
Okay, I see. This one.
You see how I'm doing it? You should be doing it the same way.
Yes, I did the same thing.
Is it better now?
Yeah, yeah. Okay, I think yes. It should be fine.
All right, so now let's go ahead and turn on the firewall and then. So guys, follow this because after this, when he convert this to a domain controller, then all of you will do the same thing. And that's where then you guys will start working with each other because at that point, everybody will have a domain controller. And when I come back, I will want to see how you guys connected your virtual machines to a domain controller. That would be your task.
Then after
Now you have a domain controller with firewall turned off. What do you do next to convert this to a domain controller?
I will start the according to the documentation, it asked me to restart it, the computer.
Check your IP address.
No, I don't need because you already restarted the computer, so the
Okay,
name
so
is already
that's
there.
what he
Don't
said.
worry
I
about
don't
that.
know.
Yeah, some things I'm just gonna make it fast forward for you guys. So at this point, just go ahead and kind of convert this to a domain controller. Let's just show us how to do that right now. And don't worry about documentation at this point. I'm just gonna quickly
Okay,
go
no
over it.
problem.
Because this
So
way.
I'll go back to the wait a minute to the server manager.
Just go ahead and
Go
server manager. And do what after this?
Did you check your IP address if it's static or is given by?
It should be started.
I
You want me to
didn't-
check it?
What's that? Sorry.
You want me to
No,
check
wait.
the IP address?
No, you don't need that. That's
Okay.
fine. It can be. For this lab purpose, I mean, you just need to know that IP address. You can always come back in.
So we go here.
So right now, he's showing you guys the
Okay.
skill of creating a domain controller. So everybody will have these two virtual machines in your environment, and everybody will be creating a domain controller with Active Directory.
So we'll go
need
to
this
manage,
one big king machine. So you're gonna go to manage and do what after this?
add role and feature,
Okay, add roles and feature.
and then go for next.
Mhm.
Go to
Okay, gonna click next.
next, and then oh Lord. This will be the name DCD.
Okay, so if any one of you is on this point next after when we are done with this, and you don't see DC, your initials, or if you did DCDD, you did a mistake, you probably failed this project. If in a real project you did the same thing, you put like DCDH, you failed the project. What do you need to put? Everybody need to put their own initials. If it's Stephen, he has to put DCS something, last initials. If it's Francine, she has to put DCF. So if you don't see the same name over here, at that point you should stop, go back, change the name of your machine, come back, and then proceed. Or else you're gonna go with the wrong name. You may spend 7 days in a real project and just to find out that you totally failed the whole project, right?
Yes.
Because it's a very major thing right here. We keep saying that in the document that don't do this mistake, go back, fix it. And that's where I'm trying to look for who's following the documentation correctly. So good to go. You have DCDD, and what do you need to pick to convert this to a domain controller?
Then I'll come in here, use Active Directory, domain and services.
Are you sure?
Wait a minute, I'm
Yeah, second option.
Why are you confused, Donald, today?
no, but wait a minute. I have I can see what Active Directory domain is Active Directory.
Is it Active Directory domain services? Yes or no?
Yes,
Yes, that's what I
Yes.
said. Yes.
second option over
All right,
there.
go ahead. All right, go ahead and click on it.
And then add features.
All right. And now you're converting this normal server to what?
Domain
Domain controller.
Active Directory domain control.
Perfect.
So I'll go for next. And then here we got the group policy management checked. So I have nothing to do here.
Nothing to do here. Next.
I'll go for next.
Mm-hmm.
And then I can check this one, restart the server if required.
You don't need to do that. That's fine.
No, okay. No. Then I'll do
Click
install.
on Install. So for the new folks that are taking the meetings for the first time, Caroline, Samia, Marcus, I think you took it before too. At this point, did you guys got the point? How do you convert a normal server operating system into a domain controller? Is everything clear so far?
Yes.
Samia, are you good?
Yes.
So right now he's converting a server 2019 into a domain controller So in his environment, that lab environment that he's using, this is the king right here. He's trying to make this machine, which is going to be managing other virtual machines. So then you can start learning about Active Directory skills, all of that stuff, good stuff will come only after when you have a domain controller with Active Directory, right? In real companies, people already have this running. So when you get hired, there's 2 or 3 domain controllers already running, and then they just give you access to Active Directory, and then you start working on your machines to help out your users. So it's very important for you guys to practice with this stuff, because back in the days, this was not possible. There was a lot of hardware requirement, and not a lot of people were teaching this stuff. But since virtualization came, VirtualBox, and YouTube, me, myself, KevTech, if you look at our videos, a lot of us talks about Active Directory a lot, right? Most of our videos, you look at it, we always talk about Active Directory because we know the importance of Active Directory. And if you ask KevTech, if somebody don't know about Active Directory, is their job easy or hard? What would you think?
It's gonna be harder, man. You gotta know Active Directory.
Yeah, and that's where, if you know it, then your job becomes easy. You get to understand things very easily. So hold on, Donald, over here. What are you doing over here right now? Explain that to us.
Okay, yeah, we finished the first part, and then he asked we can now promote this server to a domain controller.
Perfect. So you guys have to do this part to get the promoting to the domain controller finished. The first part is just installing. The second part is promoting this server to a domain controller. This is a critical part. So you're going to click on it, and now you're going to pick what? Donald, explain that to us.
And then from here, I want to use no, add the domain is the
Add a new forest.
Okay.
Add a new forest.
Are you sure about this?
What?
Yeah, this is the first domain, so it has to be a new forest.
Yes, yeah, new forest. That is
good.
stop.
Good. I want that clear answer. Yes, definitely.
Yes, it's clear. Yeah. That is me.
All right, cool. Because I heard you again. You got a little shaken. So I was like, okay, let me make sure that you know.
Oh.
So
yeah.
okay.
Right. So from here we're gonna put the name of the domain we want to use.
Okay, so what domain name we have to use? The document says that you again need to make sure you put your initials.
So DCDD.
And don't worry, I'm showing the document to them, so you don't have to worry about that, Donald. I'm showing that.
Okay.
So guys, the document is a step-by-step document. You cannot miss this stuff, right? It says add new forest, and look what it says, DCDH. So Donald, what are you going to put over here?
DCDD.
Okay, Francine, what are you going to put over here?
I'll put my initial.
Perfect.
I'll put DC, FD, and then I put job station data.
Caroline, when you're doing this lab, what are you going to put over here?
DCCS.
Perfect. And if somebody did a mistake, then what happens?
They fail.
They fail the project. Okay, so you're going to put dcdd.jobskillshare.org. Don't put anything else, okay? Because we own JSS over here, so that's the safe one. Nothing's going to happen if you put anything else, but it's just better.
So should I put dcdd.jobskill?
Share.org.
Jobskill.
Share.org.
What?
Yes.
So we go for next.
All right, cool. So we got next right now, and now it's gonna give us the password option. So again, you're gonna need to put the same password everywhere you see the password. You're gonna put the same password, okay?
Yes. Okay, and then next.
All right, so on this server, when you're creating a domain controller, are we gonna get a DNS with it?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. When you install Active Directory, it comes with DNS, so we're going to click next.
Mm-hmm.
So here you're going to wait for the
For
net
the name
BIOS.
to pop up.
Yes, you're going to wait for this, and whatever it gives you, you're just going to go with that. So you got what? DCDD.
What is 0?
That is the BIOS.
That's just the net BIOS. That's how it works, because it's probably have some sort of, an entry somewhere and it put the 0 in there, right? So that's okay. But remember
Quick
that.
question, Danish. Is the net bio just like the short name of your computer? Or?
No, it's not a name of computer. So remember, very
computer?
old computers or some of the devices on networking works based on net BIOS, and that's why we need it. So some devices will look for name, and that's going to use a net BIOS. This is a little bit of like a verification way to find different type of connections, and old systems would use net BIOS. Okay.
Yeah, but like in job interviews, they ask you what is net bio name. So in short, how can you define this? Can you say that is just a short name of your domain name or your computer, or how can you respond?
Yeah, so basically you're going to say it's kind of like a short name to use for, let's say, Active Directory environment uses NetBIOS to find systems. Let's say there are non-domain machines in your network, right? So it may look for this name and not the whole .com or .org, because it probably doesn't know anything about it inside your local system, right? And this is a little advanced concept. So nobody's going to be asking you this in your entry-level interviews. If somebody does ask you this question, there's going to be a sysadmin stuff. So you have to go a lot deeper than this. So at this point, you can only kind of think about this as a short version, names used for older systems. And then I'm going to show you where to find this NetBIOS again. What if, let's say, you do this next, you cannot never come back to this screen. How do you go back to NetBIOS again? How would you find that NetBIOS? And where you would need this, I'm going to also show you sometimes systems, when you are logging into systems and it asks you for the permissions and anything like that, like the little pop-up, right? It may not work with you typing in the whole domain. Let's say dcds.jobskillshare.org. You may not want to put that whole thing. What if somebody have a very long domain names? Then how do you kind of put that domain name / your username and password? How do you do that? Where do you find that information? Then I'm going to show you that later on. And that's something, of course, all this is advanced stuff. So that's why I'm not going too deep into it. It's going to be another 30 minutes. Okay. But it's important that you guys don't change this. Don't come over here and start changing this to like some .com or anything like this, because then, of course, your domain will not work. So we're going to click next. And here you have, you just clicked on next, but let's say next. And we're going to get this information with some errors or some, not errors, some warnings. And then we need to click on what to install this.
Install.
Yes. And what are you going to do? You're going to ignore all these yellow options because we're in a lab environment, and these options also are okay. This is just a normal options that are going to give you right there.
So in the reality, are you going to get the yellow warning?
In some environments, you may even get a yellow environment, even if you're in a real environment, because maybe a DNS may need to be configured and everything. But that's only if you're going to be a sysadmin and trying to do this stuff. Of course, then you need to go back and fix things. But in lab environment, we never look at this stuff. That's what it's saying right now, is that we don't have a proper DNS setup right here, right? We don't have like a real DNS setup. Everything is not connected correctly. It may give you a warning. If you don't use this, then this will happen. The delegation needs to be done, blah, blah, blah. This is all sysadmin stuff. So we don't go into this stuff right now. And that's like domain controller level stuff happening. So what did just happen? When you install this, it's going to automatically say the domain controller is installed and need to be restarted. So we can put all the policies, and what kind of policies will be implemented on this domain controller first.
Group policy?
Yeah, but in the group policies, there's going to be what? Domain policies, right?
Oh, domain policy, yeah.
Yeah, so when you start this machine right now, what's happening is that you converted this machine to a domain controller, Active Directory is installed, a domain policy is getting implemented on this machine, and then anybody that gets connected to this Active Directory, now what's going to happen? They're going to get the same policies.
Okay.
What policies? Default domain policies, right?
Yes.
So if anyone wants to be connected, or any machine that needs to be connected to this server right now, can we control that machine from now on?
Yes, if the machine is connected, yes.
If the machine is connected. So right now, you guys have a domain controller up and running. So I want you to do, Donald, next is to create an Active Directory help desk account. So then everybody understand how the help desk person kind of gets created in a real network. When everything is running, things are running like this. When do you start? Who gives you access? In the real job, somebody creates your account too, right?
Yes.
Mhm.
So I want you to show that.
I was gonna say, just keep in mind that we're doing this so you guys have an understanding of Active Directory on a server, but in a job environment, you won't have access to this. You'll have access to it on your local machine, probably on your laptop or desktop, using RSET tools.
Mhm.
Just keep that in mind.
In the real life, in a company, how many days it takes to build a server? Can we do it in 1 day?
What's that, sorry? What's the
I
question?
say in a real life, when you buy the new server and they ask you to set up the server, how many days can we do that? Because what I'm asking, like on my previous job, I saw the sysadmin getting a new server, but it did it in 1 week.
Well, it
So
depends. It depends on our application requirement. When people send a ticket to a sysadmin that we need a server, it's always a project, or if it's something very quick, they can run a template. So let's say, for example, in VMware, we can create a whole image, and in just 5 minutes, what you have just done, I could have done that in 5 minutes, right? But you're creating a domain controller. It's a different story. A domain controller is always going to be a very well thought, well planned project, and nobody can just do that in just. They can do this in 1 day, but the planning will take a lot of time, right, for domain controller.
Okay.
Because somebody has to create policies, somebody has to go through. Do we need 2 domain controllers? What is the backups, and what is going to be the DNS, or blah blah blah? There's going to be a lot going on. So you probably will go to a company and you will never ever see this happening. Why? Because somebody did it like 6 years ago, and then they're just upgrading it, and you never know about it, right?
Yeah, but also system admin, they don't just from create Active Directory or domain controller. They do also install like some application on this domain controller, which takes also time. So it's not like this is the only job they'll be doing.
Oh yeah, no. Sysadmin, this is probably a no job right now. Once you do a domain controller, I have not seen a lot of sysadmin even touch domain controllers too much. As a sysadmin, you work a lot on creating different servers, like standalone server. Then you convert them into a domain member, join them, and then you put like SCCM on it. You put, let's say, an application on it, web servers on it, and you put a lot of things on different servers. So, and sysadmin is not only working on servers. That's the wrong concept. The sysadmins always work on cloud stuff. They work on content management systems. There's so many things that a sysadmin works on. So it's not just one thing. But when people accept you for a sysadmin, or they want to hire you, they look for some generic skills, and those are server level skills, right? They just want to make sure that you understand what server is, Active Directory, and all that kind of stuff. Because no company can ever hire a sysadmin that will have a perfect skills for a sysadmin. Like if I say you're a sysadmin, then you're going to know every single thing. There's no way that's possible in a current world right now. Somebody's using Azure, or somebody's using AWS, somebody's using blah, 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 blah. There are like tons of things. So everybody have a little bit of, ground there. Okay, for you to become a help desk or IT support, we expect you to know Windows 10, right? So if you want to become a sysadmin, we expect you to know the servers. It's a very known thing in this market.
But then in really world also, do they have to go do all the manual configuration, like add the Active Directory, or they can just use like command line and just write a script like install Windows D feature, like you just like they just run a script and do this installation so fast, and maybe they can just go inside the server manager just to finish the configuration, right? Do they have
It's up to the job. Like for example, I had a situation where we have to deploy 4 servers. So in that case, I would run like a PowerShell command, and then I did it that way, 4 servers, and then I kind of did it in a template way, right? Then another situation was that we needed to create a 1 server on the fly. Then I mean, that script was not built for 1 server, so it doesn't make any sense for me to spend 30 minutes on a script to run a server that can be done in 15 minutes, right? So it's all about how you take the ticket and what is the ticket requirements. If it's a lot of things that are happening repetitively, then a sysadmin comes up with the solutions that makes their job easy, basically. But we don't just jump into command line just because I know how to do it. It's never that way. It's mostly a GUI because it's easy. It's some click and you get done with it. And if it's becoming repetitive things, then I look for automation for myself or for my team members. Okay. So explain, Donald, what happened right now? Why are you seeing DCD, D0, this all in there, administrator? What is that and everything? What's happening to the server?
This is this server I've been turning in a domain controller. So it asked me to put a password.
Okay, so that administrator account, is that a domain admin account right now, or is that a local account?
No, this is a domain account.
So what is the local account?
The local account will be, if I go to other user.
Can you log into a local administrator on a domain controller?
Yes.
All right, show it to us. How do you do that?
I put slash, no, what?
All right, guys, who can help Donald?
No.
Let's see if he can log into the local administrator or domain controller. Stephen, Francine, anybody?
Yeah, click on how do I sign in into another domain first. Down there. Okay, so they'll give you an option here. It says, you see the tips they give you there? You see?
No, this is for the another domain, right? You
Yes,
said the
just
local.
type DC, just the way, the part of your look the third option there. What does it say? And then you put slash username. What is your username? Was it local admin?
That's what you mean?
All right, come on, guys.
Just, I think you're onto it, Donald. I'm not sure, but I think it's like dot / dot.
Yeah, it's a dot.
Type in dot / dot.
And admin, administrator.
Try another dot once.
Which one?
Erase administrator. No, dot / dot. No, that's forward. Dot. Yeah, period.
Like this?
I thought so.
So
no.
read the
Is
screen.
it dot,
What is the bottom
admin?
line saying? Type DCDD / local username to sign in to this PC only, not a domain.
That is what I was saying. Look, third option.
Look at the options, Read the screen thing. It's right there. What is the second option telling you?
You said domain name slash DCDD slash local username.
So what are we trying? We're trying to log into this domain controller with administrator account. Is that possible? Can you show us how to do that?
You mean on the server?
No, you were right. You are just go to other user. Yes. Click how do I sign into other domain? Okay, choose the second option. What is the question? He needs to log in as a
administrator account. Remember, you guys started the server with administrator when you started.
Yeah, with the local account, right?
So you created the administrator account. When I say, is this a domain controller account? You guys know, say that's a local account. So I want you to log into that local account now. Where is that local account?
But we can do this one, but we got another way, right?
Look, the ways is presented to you. Why would you go to a different way when the way is right there? Look, DC/local. So DC is telling you that's what you need to type. So what is slash and what is that local username? What is it telling? This thing is telling you, okay, that's good now. And you're trying this on a domain controller. Mark my point, guys. You guys want to learn something today. And put the password in there.
I literally was just looking at this a couple hours ago too. I was trying to figure it out. Can you use this, Danish? Can you use this backslash dot as well?
No, he's right. He's putting the right stuff over. There's nothing wrong with his way right now because that's what the system is telling us how to use it, right? To get to local machines. If this was joined to a domain, if this was a domain computer, if this was a domain joint computer, this would perfectly works right now. But he's trying this on a domain controller right now. So learn this, guys. This is a tip for you all. When a domain controller becomes a domain controller, the first local administrator account becomes a domain admin account, and there is no local admin account in domain controller only. I'm sure you guys didn't know about this, right?
Oh, this one, yeah, no.
So you're saying a DCDD/administrator, that's the first domain account?
That's because it was a local account, is a local administrator account that gets converted into a domain admin account because this is a domain controller. It works a little different than a normal machines. Now, normal machines, this would have been perfectly worked because a local account works. In domain controller, local accounts doesn't work. There's no local accounts after that. So I want you to now go back to DCD, the first option, go back to domain admin, yep, and log into this now. You see it says administrator. In this whole lab, did we create an administrator?
No.
In Active Directory, we did not create an administrator in Active Directory, right? But still, it's on the domain level right there, right?
Yeah.
So that local administrator account automatically became what? Domain admin.
No.
Okay.
So Danish, this one, like, okay, wait. DCDD.administrator, the one we put here, is the same one we're here, the DCDD.
It's the same one. It got converted automatically.
Okay.
Did you guys learn something?
Yep.
So if you ever is in a company and you're the only one-man IT show next time and they're saying, hey, my domain controller is not working, and you're trying to, why am I not getting into a local admin account? Well, it doesn't work that way. The domain controller doesn't have a local admin account after this. So log into it and I can show it to you. I want you to open a local user accounts and who will guide us, because this is a very important question. How do you find local accounts?
Go to settings or system.
What was the question? I'm sorry.
How do you find local user accounts on a server or machines? I'm not talking about Active Directory anymore. I'm just talking about you having your own Windows 10 machine and you say that I'm going to give my brother access to this machine, but I want to add him to a local computer, right?
Would you go to this PC and manage?
Computer.
Yeah, and
member.
how would you do this? So guide us, like how would you find accounts and things like that?
You can go to the system
Uh-huh.
and then select about.
I don't know where.
About is down there. Try to go.
The computer
This one?
management.
It's not here.
No, that's not what it's talking
Yeah,
about.
no, that's not.
Oh,
here.
here you can just see all the configuration. The version of your. Okay, let's see.
Then he said a local account, right?
Go to account.
Local account.
Here.
I want you to find local accounts on a domain controller.
Yeah, here you are.
Huh? So you got only one account, right?
Yes.
And that local account is a domain account, right?
Yes.
So this is the reality of domain controller. You don't have any local accounts over here, okay? When you become a domain controller, when you make a computer to domain controller, all of this options goes away. And then everything will be controlled by your Active Directory. So now I want you to open Active Directory now. And how do you guys open Active Directory now when you install the Active Directory? Can anyone give me, Caroline or anybody, can you guys give me an answer?
Go to tools
Uh-huh.
and then select Active Directory user.
So once you guys, when you install Active Directory, how do you verify it that you have Active Directory on a server? You go to tools,
And
you click on Active Directory, users.
And computer.
yes, computers.
Users and computer, yeah.
There you go. So now I want you to expand on the left side. You created that stuff right there. And I want you to expand everything like the computers, domain controller, users. I want you to expand all of that stuff. Yeah, keep expanding, keep expanding. There's nothing in there, right? So click on users container. So do you see a administrator account now?
Yes.
What does it say in description?
Building up. Wait.
So you guys noticing what's happening to the local accounts right here, right? It is showing up over here, right? In a non-Active Directory machines, even if they're joined to Active Directory, it's not going to be like this, right? When I say add a local account in a machine, you still have to go to the local management accounts and you still have to add it that way. But on an Active Directory domain controller, you don't have that sort of options. You have to do it here. Does that make sense, so guys?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So far, we just did all of this talking, and it took us about more than an hour just to get to this point, which could have been done in a few minutes. But the reason we take all this time is to make sure that everybody is confident with this stuff, to at least get to where you can create your own lab in your own environments or JSS environment or practice lab. Everything is out there. So in practice lab, you see why it's powerful and less time consuming, because the Active Directory domain controller is right here. So now when you went through this lab, I am sure you're not going to go there every day and try to create Active Directory every day, or every third day or every week. You're not going to do that, right? Because you clearly have a more powerful access in practice lab, which Active Directory is already there. So based on watching this whole lab that Donald did, I'm going to pick on people right now. So Caroline, are you there?
Yes.
So if you're in a practice lab, Caroline, tell me which one is the domain controller in this 5-6 computers right now?
The top one.
The top one. So yes. I am on the top one. So if I ask you where to open an Active Directory, how would you guide me? Can you guide me to open Active Directory?
So I would.
You're looking at my screen, right?
Yes.
So you would tell me to click on where? Click on start and then click on where?
I think that in the administrative tools are set, would it be there?
Okay, server manager or Windows administrative tools, right?
Yeah,
Okay, and here I'm gonna pick Active Directory users and computers, right?
yes.
So I wanted to give you guys a little bit of hint right here to all of you. All of this, what we did so far, is actually not required for you all to do this again and again, because your practice lab, and this is very hard for new members to understand in the beginning, they kind of like misjudge the powerful labs of practice labs because they think these things are not available, right? For when somebody's new to these labs, a lot of people don't know this stuff because they're too new to technology. So if you look at it, Caroline, you don't have to do all of this 30 minutes worth of labbing. Of course, you will do it in JSS, but later on, when you're developing your skills, you never want to think about Active Directory anymore because it's available where? In your practice labs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's there, and every time you open a lab, it's there for you. You don't have to spend that time. And users, computers, Active Directory, every single thing is there in a very powerful labs. So this is a tip for people who are watching this, that when you do something like that, you don't go back and do this again and again. You just kind of like learn Active Directory one time, and that's it. You then focus on the help desk level skills, okay? So Donald, quickly create a help desk account in Active Directory. How do you create an Active Directory account?
We got, I would say, okay, 2 ways. We can right click here and do the new user. And then type, it's a help desk.
Okay. You should have put first name, last name, help desk. That would have been easy. Like, you want to put desk last name, like help desk, first name, help, last name.
Okay, okay, gosh. Yes.
Okay, and the user logon name will be what?
Help desk at DCD.
Yep. So think about this, as somebody just hired you, Samia or Marcus, somebody hired you and they say, Marcus is starting on Monday, Mr. sysadmin or Mr. coworker, another IT professional, can you add Marcus? They will be adding you just like this in their environment, okay?
Then I'll do next and then create a password.
Okay, you put the
That will
password,
be
same password.
welcome, 1, 2, 3. And then here, I say user might change the password at next login. If
What
you
password
want,
did you use?
do you want to use the same one?
Well, don't use the same one. You said welcome 1, 2, 3. I want you to keep that.
Welcome 1, 2, 3.
And keep it like that. User must change their password at the next logon. So go ahead and click on next. Finish it. All right. So now, because you put the welcome 1, 2, 3, I want you to remove that now. How do you do that?
Okay. So you go to help desk, the user. Okay. Okay, you set the password.
Perfect. Do that, and then also uncheck the first box.
So which password you want me to put?
The same password one, the one that we use for lab.
Okay, so that will be password.
Well, the reason I did this with him is just in case you did a mistake and you put your password, then you can come back and reset it back, okay?
Okay, so it'll be okay.
Okay, so is this help desk a domain user or a local user?
So a local
The
user, not a local
What's the
user, but I
domain?
mean a user on the domain.
Any user.
Good job. Is this help desk a domain user with admin rights or no admin rights?
No admin
No
rights.
admin right.
Why?
You gotta add it.
No admin.
Add them to it.
Can you show us how do you add this help desk to a domain admin?
I would I would do it a different way, but
Okay.
I would copy the administrator user account. Like I would copy it and then rename it.
No.
Mm.
This would be a total mistake though.
Okay.
Just double.
You can adjust it.
Go ahead and open
just,
up
we can just
help desk. Members of.
You can
Remember
make,
that?
yeah, that's it.
Oh,
Add
okay.
him
From
to the
here?
Click
member.
on members of. Look, you don't want to copy this one. Imagine how many powerful rights you're giving help desk now. You're giving
Oh, I see.
enterprise admin, group policy, schema admin. I mean, this is going to be like a crazy level access, right?
Oh, you just would give them just one, you would just give
Just
them
one.
a domain admin access. That's it.
Exactly. For domain admin, we don't do any copying anyways, because domain admin is not something we should be copying, right?
Okay.
It's mainly used for users. Like if a user have multiple groups, then it makes sense to do that. But for domain admins, we don't do that
Okay.
because we want to verify that access, what kind of access we're giving for admin. So if we're going to create an admin account, help desk account, and we're going to give it domain admin rights, so how would you do that, Donald?
If you want to give it a come again, I didn't get you.
We want to give help desk a domain admin rights.
Uh-huh.
How do you do that?
I can add in.
Well, you're on an administrator account.
Yeah, this is administrator. Yeah, I can add him here.
No. Why are you adding a help desk account to administrator?
You said to give him the admin right way.
Mm-hmm. But how are you adding help desk over here? Like this is an admin account, what I'm saying.
Oh,
Close this window.
I can go to the help desk,
Yep. Look, you're on the administrator account. You need to go to the help desk, right?
member of.
Yep. So now we want to give this what? Domain admin, right?
Yeah, but what's the difference between doing that in that way and the adding help desk in the admin?
Well, you are on an administrator user account. You're not in a group. So I'm going to show you that. First, add this to the domain admin.
Okay.
How do you add a user to a domain admin group?
I'll put admin. What?
Listen to my question again. I want you to add this user to a domain admin group.
Type domain admin and then check the name and then.
Okay, good. And we choose domain admin, right? Perfect. And we apply.
Anish, I'm confused now.
Why are you confused? Tell me.
Okay. This one, admin right here on the top.
Uh-huh.
What is it?
It's a user.
It's a user.
Mhm.
Okay.
And your question is that how do I give this help desk domain admin rights, right?
Yes.
And you went into a user and you added a user to what group?
To the domain group, domain admin
Okay.
group.
Domain admin group. So now find a domain group admin group for me in Active Directory.
Right here.
Okay. So double click on it. And now what it says, if I want you to add a user to a group, then where would you go then?
I'll go to member.
Yes. And then you add who?
Can I add help desk?
Yep. Where did you add it before? Because I thought you did this. that's
You see,
kind
that's why I said I was confused because
Did you click apply?
yeah. Did you click apply? Well, let's go back to the user. Let's check it because I think there's something going on here. There's definitely something not
Okay.
working.
go to help desk, you said.
Yeah, go to help desk. But the main admin is there. So maybe you need to refresh, I guess. It should show up in there, by the way.
Okay, I want to refresh.
Close your AD, like just the whole Active Directory, close it. Reopen it again.
Go to the domain admin, check.
Yeah. Ah, there you go. Just need to be refreshed, right?
There we go.
Okay. So you know what you were doing before? You were clicking on administrator user and then adding this help desk to a user.
Oh, okay, okay.
That's not a group, right?
Okay, yeah, I see. Okay.
So you can't add a help desk to another user like that.
Oh, okay.
So you need to be in either you need to go to a group to add a member, or you need to go to a member to add a group. Both ways will
Okay.
work.
Yeah, that's true.
Is that clear, your confusion?
Yes.
Anybody else
Should have known
confused in
about
this
it.
area?
Yeah. Everything's clear.
Okay, so that's for now. You are done with domain controller. You know how to use JSS server. You know how to use a Active Directory. What is your next step over here? What are you going to do with the machine? How are you going to join that virtual machine to a domain controller? You're not going to do that right now. I'm just going to ask you, what are you going to do next?
Me?
Yes.
So when we done, if we need to join the machine to the domain, so we will go to that machine.
Okay, what machine? In your lab, which machine are we talking about?
The Windows 10.
Can you show us?
Okay, wait a second. Let me do this one.
And you can close this. You can click here. Let me just take over. You can click on close. And you can always come back to these machines again by clicking on console and open it just like that. You can always come back,
okay.
right?
Mhm.
So now you want to go back and tell us, how would you create a second machine, a Windows 10 machine, and join it to this domain? We're not going to do that right now because all of you will do the lab for the domain controller, and later on that will be your homework. Everybody will have this access, and you guys will do the machine and help each other out, because that's something you guys just need to configure Windows 10 and add it to a domain controller and help each other out in Discord and stuff like that.
I'll go to the Windows 10.
You're going to go to Windows 10. You're going to do what? You're going to power it on.
Yeah.
Go ahead and power it on. At least I can show you just a little bit. And again, you guys are not installing an operating system from scratch because you want to save your time. Once this operating system is up and running, you guys will do the basic configuration. Maybe watch my lab videos on YouTube, or maybe watch wherever you can get help from it. You do that. Maybe watch the documentation. If you guys want documentation for that also, I will send it to you all so you guys can do this part from documentation as well. And that will be your homework. But for now, what I want everybody to do in this session is to hop into your own labs and create the whole domain controller and help each other out. And I'm going to stop talking because I think my system is telling me to stop because I'm getting to that point. So what do you guys think so far? So here, you're going to do this whole process from scratch, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You can do that.
So Donald, Stephen, Francine, I guess you guys are the lead right here. You guys need to follow along with other people and then ask people in the session, is anybody having issues? Donald, since you did this, you're going to be the one who's going to be kind of leading all, like, on top. And Stephen, you're going to be also, and Francine. You guys have done this multiple times in your labs. So I hope you guys will help everybody out to make sure that their domain controllers are running and everybody will have an help desk account in their system, and that will be like a complete lab. And later on, then they will do their Windows 10 on their own. Like you guys will just move out of this session, and then that will be like a homework for a week. So I'm going to leave this servers to you guys for multiple days so you guys can play around with it. Okay. Okay. Okay, good.
Thank you.
No problem. So
I just hit something. I made a mistake.
all right, so what did you do?
When I went into my console
Uh-huh.
here on my server,
Okay.
there was an option, and by mistake I hit it. It said download something. I can't even remember the.
You want to go back to your VMware, right?
Yes, I need to go back.
Okay, look on the bottom. It says login. That little icon in here. But let's say you forgot about it. You don't even know about this icon. What would you do? You would type 192. Just type 192 in the browser.
In this browser that's showing up here.
Yep. Yep.
192. Okay.
And that's your IP address right now.
Okay. So.
Okay. So anybody that loses their web browser, you close it, something happened, just go back to your browser, type the IP address 192.168, and whatever you have used is going to show up in there. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure. All right. So now let's see. Let's pick on some people over here. What are they doing right here? So let's see. So Francine, why are you stuck in the screen right here where it says the computer name? Are you having some issues?
Yeah, it's not opening. I'm trying to change the settings so that I can change the server name, but this new window is not opening. I don't know why.
Huh?
Now it's opening.
You know, it was not an issue though. Let's just go back. Click on it again. So basic thing, you're in front of a user and the user saying, I click on something, but it's not opening. How would you troubleshoot this?
Check if he opened somewhere, but I don't see it. There's no other window which is open here.
This is actually a very common issue that people will come across in help desk, by the way, and that's why I'm not kind of going in right now. So I'm sure KevTech, you see what's happening right now. She's clicking on something, but that pop-up is not showing, but it's there.
Take a look. What do we got?
And let me tell you, this is a common thing that people are going to call you on. I can't see my Outlook. I clicked on this, but I'm not seeing that pop-up. Where's that pop-up? So if you go back, for instance, here, I want you to show everybody to click on it again and just find that. Because you're stuck in an extremely basic stuff right now.
I thought maybe my network is slow. I don't know why it's not.
Can you see my window, like my mouse? I'm clicking on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it showed up because before you were clicking on this right here, this pop-up was behind your window, like here, the other window, right? This one. It was just not coming up like that. It was here, but it was not coming up. So that happens on Windows machines. And most of the times people get stuck that things are not working. You just have to look on the bottom. It's open on the bottom right here, right? You gotta click on that. So it's something basic, but a lot of people get stuck over here. So just know that it's working. It's just that you need to look at that specific active window. That's what you call it. Active window is somehow not working. You just need to go back on the bottom and click on that active window and it will show up. Okay. All right. Oh, sorry. I messed up yours. No. That was my mistake. That's my mistake.
It was your mistake?
Yeah, that was my mistake. I refreshed on your browser. It should go back to that. I'm sorry about that. Hold on.
I'm like, oh my gosh, what did I do again?
Yeah, that's what I hate because when you're in so many different browsers, there's a lot of mistakes. But here you go. you're back into your stuff right there. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. So let's see who is jump box 9. Who's 9? What? I don't have anybody on 9, and still 9 is working. Maybe I mistakenly removed somebody. All right, can somebody tell me who's this? 9. I'm taking over your machine right now. Who's this? Tim. Okay, Timothy. Okay, sorry about that.
Gonna say where's Tim? Quiet.
Okay, so who's jump box number 7? Samia. Okay, why you have that error on top of this? What is that? Fail to power on virtual machines. The attempting operation cannot be performed in the current power on. So what are you doing over here that you're getting this error?
No idea. I have 2 server. I'm 2.
Go ahead and close this. Like just click on close on that error. Maybe it's just kind of the first time when you had issues. So there's a little icon. Yeah, there you go. So go back to your virtual machines. It's not 2. So if you go back to the left side, yeah, click on that. So you have 1, that server that you're working on. So now if you open it, let's open it one more time. And now everything should be good. Okay, so that's good. We remove that error.
Yeah, I think my game, I don't know. There must be something wrong with my mouse. I'm still stacking on the same issue. Nope.
So can someone help me out here?
Okay, what's going on?
I'm getting a message. The password you type doesn't meet the password complexity requirements, but I haven't typed in anything because I can't type anything.
Ah, so everybody's having the same issue. So who can help her now?
Yeah, possibly go up to these settings up there on the top right.
So this is above your browser, Caroline. Like it's not inside your browser. It's like the above, all the way to above. There's a small gray button called settings. You need to click on that.
I'm there.
Okay, so tell us what options do you have?
I have quality and I have it on 90%.
Okay.
Scaling 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Frame rate fast.
Okay.
Other settings use remote keyboard map. That's checked.
That's checked. Okay, so uncheck that.
Uncheck it. Oh.
Yeah, no, uncheck it and you need to check it back, but bring it back again, like check it again and then type it again. Just let's see if that works because everybody's having the same issue and we're kind of finding that out, but that's the fix for it so far.
Okay. Okay, it worked.
Perfect. So that's good because you guys are learning how to manage the JSS connection to these servers because those are important stuff. You don't want to get stuck in this stuff and then wait for us to reply when we are sleeping, you know? So far, are you guys having any difficulties following the documentation or is it straightforward?
Pretty straightforward. I just
machine
name my PC, and when I try to do the Control Alt Delete, I don't see the thing in the top right no more.
So Marcus, you're on server 6. All right. So, all right, guys, who can lead Marcus to all control delete? How can he do that?
I can help. Do you see where there is action? Do you see where there is action on your right side? Action close to your root account, root at your IP address. There is hub, and then search under search.
So remember, he's not using his full VMware browser. He went straight to a VM through a new tab. You look, it's a different option. So how would you do that? I think I'm going to kind of like guide you over here, Marcus, because you're not on the right. How they are used to doing the alt control delete, you have a different thing going on here. So on the top, Marcus, do you see a little like a little bottom down button coming down? See right here
Okay, let
on
me
the
look.
top.
Yeah, I see that.
Can you click on that?
I'm clicking on it, but ain't nothing happening.
Okay, so if that's not happening, what
When I did it, something said, let me see.
yeah, so what I would recommend is to kind of move out of this screen, because this will give you a lot of problems, right?
Okay.
What I want you to do is, let's say you go back to your VM. There you go. So you just went, I think you did probably a full screen. So you can do escape.
Okay.
Yeah, when you can do escape, and if you want to do alt control delete, what Francine is saying, you need to go to the actions.
Yeah, I was looking for that. I couldn't find it.
There you go.
All right, got you, my man. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Francine.
No problem.
No problem.
All right, we got Stephen winning the race, and Timothy is winning the race. Oh my God, they're kind of like, I don't know who's gonna win this.
Had a lot
keyboard
of coffee, a lot of coffee and tea.
I'm a French press in, a big one.
So we got Timothy almost done with his domain controller. You're doing a domain controller correctly. Okay, so Samia is going there right now. So Samia, make sure to watch your documentation. If you get stuck first, try to look at that. If you still are having trouble, then ask one of these guys who are ahead of you to help you out with the domain controller.
Okay.
And Donald is just chilling. I guess he's eating pizza because he doesn't have to do anything.
Yes, I'm a supervisor.
Oh, yes. All right. Jump box 3. Okay, so we got. And I think next time I'm going to make sure that I name these on top. This is kind of hard to look at my document and then see jump box 2. Who's jump box 2? Who's jump box 4? So again, a lot of people ask me, hey, do you sell this access in comments when I put this on YouTube or something? We do not sell this, by the way. If anybody's listening to my recording, we don't give this out in any memberships or any programs. This is just when we do projects. That's the only time we give this access to JSS servers. And it's not a part of any of our learnings. For our learning, we use Practice Lab with our video courses, and those are much better way to do things. So guys, you guys are kind of using just one document out of maybe 12 or 13 documents like this, which is going to take you about, in your real project, when you start, it's going to be taking about 1 week, and there will be no help other than your own co-members. So you guys like have a good understanding of this right now, right?
Yeah. When do you want us to start the project together?
I mean, I prefer that when you as a group feel very comfortable about this, like when you start a client pro, maybe do a client pro a little bit like halfway, and then kind of get together and do the project.
Okay.
You can do the project solo as well. Like you don't have to be in a group if you feel like you want to do it that way. But I feel like since you guys are doing this as a group, it's the best way to learn things in a group. Get together, turn on Zoom, so someone can just jump in and help each other out. We don't check that if somebody help you with the project that's acceptable or not. I feel like the best way for you guys to learn things is in the group, and we have learned that from our own trainings. When people help each other out, they learn a lot more than just our own videos or even courses. You learn more this way,
Yeah.
And when you guys are doing this is all guided type of documentation. But remember, in real project, there's going to be challenges too in the document. It's going to basically challenge you to do things, to go and create some groups, distribution groups, blah, blah, blah. And you have to go out of this research, come back from Google, bring those commands and everything and run it on these systems. So you guys get that real feeling how things works when things are not given to you, which 99.9% things are not going to be given to you, right?
Mhm.
I agree with that. And one thing I wanted to say, and Donish is gonna agree with me, not to be negative, but like it's good that you do the hands-on training because some companies they won't train you. They don't have like, they're like, I'm too busy right now, I can't show you how to do it, you know. So it's good to like do hands-on
Think about
training.
it, Kevin, like look how much time it took us just to do the domain controller. You know how simple this is. We can just do it in probably 8 minutes, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Look, if you're going to be guiding 10 people with brand new skills, or somebody, even one person, it takes huge amount of time and energy for a trainer to guide you like this. And that's why a lot of people don't do this in their training. You will only see KevTech in his videos or trainings. He does this stuff. And I've seen some other people doing this, but 90% of the people in their trainings don't do this stuff because it's not easy to do. It's too much energy. People are going to charge you for the labor for this stuff, right?
Yeah.
And they're going to charge you pretty good amount for this kind of stuff. So similarly, companies don't want to spend that kind of labor. Who's going to pay the other coworkers for this amount of time? So don't expect this sort of training or this sort of, step-by-step and tiny guidance. That's not going to happen in reality. And that's why when it comes to projects, I like to pull myself away from you guys, because that's why I say that in my projects, clearly big red, Danish is not available. Do not contact the trainers. Do not contact KevTech. If you do that, you fail the project. It's simple as that. And when you fail the projects, I'm not able to give anything after that because I know you're not doing things correctly. And the reason I go hard on that side, because as soon as you leave JSS and you go to reality is like that. It's not going to be like somebody's sitting with you 24/7 or there every single step. They're going to be really much nice to you. They may even get negative with you. They may say, didn't you learn this stuff in your own learning or basics? Or what did you do in DME at your solution? We hired you for this. That's why we're paying you 40, 50, 60, 70K. So that's why I go a little bit stricter when it comes to projects. When I give it to you, I'm like, okay, now you're on your own. You looked at me, we spent 2 hours today, almost more than that now. And if there is basics now, I'm going to say, did you ask Donald? Did you ask Stephen? Stephen, did you ask this? Did you ask him? And if I don't see that kind of approach, then of course I'm going to be also going backwards, because now I think you're not doing correctly. You're not doing things correctly. So you will utilize your energy correctly, and we will utilize our energy correctly. And I want to make sure that everybody takes this positive and not negative. Every time when we talk about something little harsher, that's just for you guys. We're not trying to do this for ourselves, Warrior. And that's just for you. So you guys can have a nice time in IT. You love IT. You make money in IT while you enjoy your job passionately. And then you bring food to us.
No, but I agree. I agree with Danish. Just, you gotta be, so I don't know if you guys ever looked at a job posting that it says like self-starter. Some jobs when you go on Indeed or LinkedIn, you will see like a self-starter, right? Or self-taught, right? Because when you working in a job environment, sometimes they don't have time to train you. It's just like, it's the reality of IT. Some companies will not train you at all. And then you have to be willing to Google the living hell out of the problem. So that's why we tell people, like, you have to know how to do research on your own, because not everything's going to be handed to you sometimes. And that's just the reality of IT. Sometimes they're not going to help you. Sometimes you have to figure it out on your own on the fly. So it's good, like as Danish says, it's good that you make mistakes now while you're working with us versus you doing it in a work environment, if that makes sense. So that's how I look at it. So
I have a question. Thank you, by the way, for that. And this is for anyone in the class. So if you can see mine right here at jump box 3. Right now, I'm not sure, but I see the name server right on the virtual machines. Am I supposed to just be seeing server? Or am I supposed to be seeing like something else there?
This is okay. You're doing fine.
Okay, because when I,
The server that you're on, that's the machine in the VMware, right? So that's your computer, basically, your server.
okay, great. So I'm trying to follow the documentation. And
Mhm.
I'm on the page where it shows this picture right here, file and storage server. I'm there. But when I do what it's saying next to do, I don't see that next thing there on my computer, which is, it shows server manager opens up automatically at startup. I
Okay.
don't see that.
You're in server manager. Go back. That's server manager right here.
Right?
Okay. So are you trying to change the name right now?
Yeah, so the next step is to go down and change the name. So I clicked in File Explorer, and this is where I'm kind of getting stuck. So hold on, I'm in the wrong one, sorry, wrong one. So I went to the folder, File Explorer, and I clicked it. And then this PC, I right-clicked on it.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. And then went to Properties,
Okay.
and that's what came up.
Okay, that's all right. So now take a look at this, and where do you think you would change the name in here? You're
Okay.
really close.
And change
So read through in the center.
computer name.
Yep. See, so that's probably where you would want to click, right? If you want to change the name, so you see the change settings. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. And that's where I put that DC and then my name CS.
Okay. Maybe click on change once. See what that takes you.
Oh, just click on change before I even put a computer description. Okay. Ah, got it.
Okay.
So
There
your
you go. Yep.
mistake is basically you're putting name and description. Actual name has to be changed from here.
Okay, got it. Got it. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Stephen got points.
it goes back to basics, like know the difference between a work group and a domain. I'm pretty sure you guys know what differences are, but just saying, it's important that you know the differences.
Yeah, I'm gonna send that video again because I think I just did a new video on that work group versus domain for a course that we need to update. So I'm gonna send that link to them. So this way they can get a little better understanding.
Yeah, that works. The reason why I say that, not to be random, but it's because Danish is because someone was trying to add a computer to a domain on a home edition.
Oh, okay, that's not gonna work.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I say that.
I think that's where JSS courses, and I'm not sure how Test Out also have that in Client Pro. So when you guys learn Client Pro, JSS courses, you guys will learn about different versions in courses. And that's why the basics is important, right? Like knowing operating system versions, Pro, Enterprise, and everything has its own limitations. So once you guys go over that, it's going to give you more details on that.
Danish or Kev, I got the questions.
I'm not available. I'm gone. Go ahead.
Now, I just want to know, on the when you set up a server, you know, I watch a video with a KevTech, and normally we put a static IP address on it. But on this lab, I think we got on my server, we got a DHCP on. So I'm getting my IP address for my DHCP with my
so
server.
every time you do a server type of settings in a real environment, you always use static. The server, we always use static, most likely, right?
Yes.
In this environment, we just don't care too much about it because we know this is an IP address. If something goes wrong, you're going to come back and just kind of like point it to the right IP address then.
Okay.
So in this lab, you're just kind of bypassing that step. It's not going to do anything. It's still going to work.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it's just that in a real environment or even in your home lab environment, you don't want to go back and do these things again and again. But this is not a full-time access, right? This is only for a few days, 4 or 5 days, and you guys we will destroy it. So that's why I kind of went away from that step.
Okay, gotcha.